Sure. So again, they were a team that were and still are really keen on trying to advance their thinking and advance how they get there. But and they all came into learning the same way nearly all of us came into learning was there's no formal set of qualifications. There's no formal kind of career path. Most people just say they fell into it, which is probably true for lots of industries. So they are using the same or were using the same um, route for access that everyone else was, which was social media, conferences, and people just saying high level phrases around data and experience design and all these kind of things. And but again, you can go to Google, you can type these things in, hear 10 million different things. So really well meaning, but when it came to the actual application of it, they were struggling to take what they could see as almost textbook responses from people and put them into a real world setting where they were heavily regulated. They have other projects going on. They obviously have stakeholders. They have budget restraints, timescale constraints. So to be able to get that down to a point of saying, firstly, how do I move quickly? How do I move quickly and still create something brilliant? And then how do I even know I've done that right? And then how do I retract and change that later on? All of those kind of things were kind of alien to them because they would go through this incredibly over-engineered process. So when we came in, we sat down with their process and said, "There's nothing in here that's bad. There's just too much of it. You're kind of beating yourselves up with process. So start to take out the things that either aren't as important, aren't as relevant, and just focus on the things that matter right now." So when we talk about the experience design logbook and the things we tell people, it's agility is key. So if you start a project with 10 stakeholders, by the time we finish that stakeholder analysis, you might be down to two because they're the only two that really matter. And when we're talking about splitting the project team up, they're still talking to each other every day, but they're just working on two different tasks rather than everyone waiting for one person to do a task. And again, I think what we found with them is it took a little while for them to be comfortable working in a different way. But once they started to see the benefits and started to see we can do this in 6 to 8 weeks, we can start to produce things much quicker, test them out, get real life feedback. And it didn't matter which one of us was saying, I like it, I don't like it, I'd like to change this. We would always default to what do our end users think? Because it's ultimately for them, it's not for us. And it's just a change of mindset. That's largely all it is because it's not rocket science, but it's a real inherently different way of working if you've never done it before. And it's quite jarring. Um, but it was really nice to see when that came to an end that we'd shifted them more down that path of let's move quickly, let's work to a different way, and showing them this is what you had, this is what you now have, and it's kind of night and day. So we kind of moved it in a good place.